Hello Year 10s, it's Miss Coots here, and in this video I want to tell you about your extension for your assignment. I'm going to read to you your task sheet just to help you from home and read to you the exemplar. Okay, so Year 10 English. Considering the situation and the fact that you haven't seen me or had as much support as you would normally from me, there's a couple of changes that have happened to this subject. Number one, we have dropped a whole unit, which means a whole task, just to give you some more time. So that means that you will only now have 5 assignments for the year. Okay? That means that the unit we're in right now, Unit 2, has been extended by 3 weeks. So your due dates are these. Your planning is now due Thursday, week 5. Your draft is now due Thursday, week 6. And your final is now due Thursday, week 7. Now I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're going to be back to school in week 6 and 7. So I'll be able to give you some more support from school as well. But what if you've already finished reading the book and you've already taken all of your notes and you're up to drafting? Well, sweet. Some of you have already told me that. That's awesome. If you're one of those people, you're just going to have some extra time to go outside and do the things you want to do. So that's your reward for being on top of your work. If you need this extension though, I hope that you'll be feeling a lot less stressed. Okay, let's move on and have a look at our task sheet. So regardless of whether you are on OneNote, whether I'm emailing you your work, or whether you're coming into school and collecting it, you should all have your task sheet. Please notice that I have changed the due date to Thursday the 4th of June, which is in week 7. That's when the final is due. Now, to understand what you need to do for your assignment, you have to read your task sheet very carefully. And for some of you, having someone to read it to you helps, and that's why I've made this video. So let's look at it together. Obviously, we're in Year 10 English. We're writing an analytical essay. We're in Unit 2 and it's called Character Construction in Literature. Literature means books. So we've read a book and we're looking at how the characters are constructed. Do you remember another word for construction or constructed? It means create, basically. So we're looking at how the author, who's John Marsden, has created characters in the book. All right, you need to write 400 to 600 words. My exemplar is just over 500, so I've hit smack bam in the middle. Also, please remember that the exemplar is still an A, even though it doesn't make the 600 words, and I'll show you how soon. Let me read this to you, the context of our unit. Tomorrow When the War Began is a story of a group of careless, happy teenagers who escape into the bush for a camping trip during the school holidays. When they return, they find that the country is under attack by foreign invaders. They each need to grow up fast to survive in the changed world the war has created. Your task, your assignment. Choose either Ellie or Homer as a character to analyze. Analyze Marsden's construction and development of this character throughout the novel in a structured essay with quotes from the text as evidence. Okay, let me read that again. All right, we know that you can only choose between 2 characters, Ellie or Homer. The reason why I can only choose 2 is because you've been away from school and I haven't been able to help you with the others. If you really want to do Fee or Kevin or someone, sure, go ahead. The only one you can't do though is Robin. So your task is to analyze Marsden's construction. Remember, construction also means create. So how has Marsden created and developed the character throughout the novel? You need to write a structured essay that includes quotes from the text as evidence. All right, now you should know what you need to do for your assignment. To complete this task, you must choose a character. Awesome. Hopefully you've chosen either Ellie or Homer already. You need to complete the planning sheet to collect evidence. The planning sheet looks like this. Now this is my example. This is obviously my example of Robin. Now yours will say Ellie or Homer. You need to take notes as you read the book on these 3 topics. They will make the 3 body paragraphs of your analytical essay. They are analyzing how John Marsden, the author, constructs or creates the character of Ellie or Homer. What's their personality like? How are they affected by the war? And how do they develop, mature, grow? Maybe they don't change at all over the course of the novel. This is called analyzing. You're taking the book, Tomorrow When the War Began, and you're pulling it apart in terms of the character, looking at their personality traits, how they're affected by the war, and how they mature as a result. Let's go back to our task now. So you must have the planning sheet done, and I've just realized, I've just realized, sorry, that these weeks are incorrect, and I'm going to change them right now, but on your task sheet you should have the changed one. So obviously your draft is now going to be due in week 6, and your final is due in week 7. My mistake, I just hadn't changed that already. Okay, so let's go over that again. Choose your character, complete the planning sheet, write and submit a draft, that's due in week 6, read my feedback, and then write a good copy, and that's going to be due in week 7. And like I said before, hopefully we're back at school by then. Okay, scaffolding. Now I've given you a more detailed scaffold, but here I've just written here very simply that you need to include an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Now it was a speech. We've had to change it because obviously of COVID-19. Okay, now we have looked through your task sheet. Hopefully you know what you need to do. Next thing we're going to do in this video is read through the exemplar. This is it. Now regardless of whether you are online or you're collecting your work from school, you should by now have your exemplar. It should look like this. So please have it out in front of you while you're listening to the video. Remember, I've only made this video to help those of you who need help with reading. If you're good at reading, go ahead and read this by yourself. If you'd like some help, keep listening to the video. Okay. Exemplar for unit number 2. You remember the character I wrote my exemplar on? You can choose Ellie or Homer, but I've chosen Robin. Now, I want to show you the 3 parts of the exemplar before I go any further. 1, 2, 3. On the left-hand side, so down this side of the exemplar, I have given you some notes to help you structure your essay. You will notice that there are 5 sections to the text. Introduction makes 1, 2, 3, 4, and the conclusion makes 5. 5 sections to the text. In the structure section, I have written what you need to include in each one of those sections. Let's also now look over at the other side. On this side here, on the right hand side, you have some extra help with all of the language features you need to include. So you need to use formal language, making your work sound professional. That means you don't say things like, oh, I reckon Ellie was pretty scared from the war. No, we need to make it sound very professional. Ellie showed some weakness when she found out about the war. Sound professional. You need to use cohesive ties in your story, in your essay. These are linking words. They make your writing flow. And I've given you some examples here, obviously not all. You need quotes. You have to have quotes for this assignment. You need to give some evidence. And this is how you need to set your quotes out. Please use synonyms. So instead of saying the same word over and over, use a synonym or a word that means a similar thing. So instead of saying Ellie the whole time or Homer over and over and over, you can say things like he or the character, or I'm actually supposed to say her character here. Instead of saying the book, or Tomorrow When the War Began, you can also call it a novel and a story, etc. I've got some more synonyms here for you. And finally, you need to use some evaluative language in your conclusion. 1 or 2 words is fine. You just need to give your opinion. Maybe you actually don't think the book was interesting. Maybe you think it was boring. That's fine. Whatever you believe. Now going back up to the introduction. Obviously, this middle section of the exemplar is where I've actually written the essay. So on this section, how to structure it. This section, what to include, what language features, and in the middle, the actual writing. Now finally, let's get into it. Introduction. Over here, I'm going to look at what I need to do. I need to introduce the book, introduce my character, and introduce my main 3 points. My main 3 points are from my 3 body paragraphs. What's her personality like? How is she affected by war? And how does she develop over the novel? So let's make sure I've done all these 3 in the introduction. I'm going to read it to you now. In John Marsden's Tomorrow When the War Began, normal Australian teenagers have to mature and do very unnormal things to survive in a country stricken by war. Robin, a quiet and well-behaved girl, quickly grows in bravery and does things none of her friends ever thought possible. Regardless of the terrible events that happen, Robin keeps her faith in God, and this helps her deal with the nightmare that becomes her life. Alright, my introduction, I'll just show you too, is 72 words. So I've got 72 words just in my introduction, and that's plenty. Remember, this is an A exemplar as well. So I've introduced the book, John Marsden's Tomorrow When the War Began, and I've actually even said a little bit about what it's about. Normal Australian teenagers, but they have to do very unnormal things because of the war. So I've introduced the book. Tick. Then I need to introduce my character, Robin, and the 3 main points about her. First thing, her personality. Robin, a quiet and well-behaved girl. That's her personality. Main point number 2 is how she is affected by war. Robin, a quiet and well-behaved girl, quickly grows in bravery and does things her friends never thought possible. That's how she's affected by war. She becomes very brave, not like she was before, and she does things that no one ever thought that she could. My 3rd main point is, how does she develop? Do I have that? Regardless of the terrible things that happen, Robin keeps her faith in God, and this helps her deal with the nightmare that becomes her life. So I've done all 3 things. Her personality, how she reacts to war, becomes brave, does crazy things, and how does she develop? Well, it doesn't matter what happens, all of the terrible things that happen, all of the blood, all of the killing, all of the bombs, all of the explosions, Robin keeps her faith in God, and that's how she develops over the story. Done. Alright, moving on. Paragraph number 1, personality. At this point, can I remind you, Year 10s, that you can pause this video at any time, and this is a good video to watch again while you're writing your draft. So you could listen to that introduction, pause, write your own draft, and then play again when you're up to the first body paragraph. Okay, let's look at it. Now over here I've got what I need to include. Remember, you need to write in peel paragraphs. That makes your writing structured and easy to read. So my point sentence, I need to make a statement about their personality. In the middle of the paragraph, I need to explain how they are like this, so how are they like that personality, with evidence from the text. What do they say and what do they do that proves that about their personality? And finally, I need to use a link sentence to summarize my point or summarize my argument, what I'm saying about Robin, but I want to use different words. That's when my synonyms are going to come in handy. So rather than saying that Robin is trustworthy over and over and over again, I want to use some other words as well, some synonyms. Okay, let's see if I've done that. Marston constructs the character of Robin to be mature and trustworthy. So that's my point sentence. Early in the book, she is described as being quiet and serious, and a child that no parent would have to worry about. Even so, her mum and dad are strict and therefore the hardest to convince about the camping trip. This is perhaps why Robin is always doing well at school and, like them, is very religious. She got effort certificates at school every year and she was heavily into church stuff. She may be fiery on the netball court, but Robin is best known for being responsible. And there's my link sentence. So let's check. Is my point sentence about her personality just a quick statement? Marsden constructs the character of Robin to be mature and trustworthy. Now, to get all of this information, I used my planning sheet. Look, trustworthy, mature. That's why we did the planning. And if you have done this, you'll find that your draft is easy to write. So that's my statement about her personality. Then I need to explain it with evidence from the text. How is she mature and trustworthy? Early in the book, she is described as being, and this is a quote, quiet and serious. How do you know that's a quote? If we go over here to the language features section and we look down at quotes, you'll see that you need to use quotation marks. Have I done that? There and there. Yes, I have. I also need to put it in italics. Italics is when you change the font to go on the side. I'll show you. So if I highlight this, can you see this I? If I take that away, you'll see that the writing goes straight again. But I need to put my quotes in italics, so I'm going to press that again and see how it goes on the side like a slant. So yes, I put it in italics. Then I need to include the page number in brackets at the end of the sentence and then the full stop afterwards. Let me check. Okay, that's not the end of the sentence. Look, I've got a comma. I go on to say, and a child that no parent would have to worry about. That's the end of the sentence, so I've got the page number in brackets with the full stop at the end. Excellent. So yes, I'm giving some evidence. Here's a quote. There's my evidence. Also, another idea from the book. A child that no parent would have to worry about. I'm proving that Robin is mature and Robin is trustworthy. Now, that's only one piece of evidence. This is an A exemplar, so I'm doing about 3 pieces of evidence per paragraph. You'll see I've got some more here, some more here. Oh, I've even got maybe 4. That's how much evidence you need to be including if you would like to get a higher mark. Let me continue. Even so, her mum and dad are strict and therefore are the hardest to convince about the camping trip. I'm giving some more information about Robin, and I'm giving some more information as to why she's probably trustworthy. This is perhaps why Robin is always doing well at school and, like them, is very religious. Still, I'm giving some more evidence as to how Robin is mature and trustworthy, which is all about her personality. She got effort certificates at school every year, and she was heavily into church stuff. Here's another quote. How do you know it's a quote? Well, look, I'm using quotation marks, it's in italics, and I've got the page number in brackets at the end. Have a look. Quotation marks, the whole thing is in italics, and then I've got the page number in brackets at the end with the full stop on the outside. So yes, I have explained using some evidence. I've got maybe 4 different ideas from the text, and I've got 2 quotes. And that's how much you need for an A. Then I need to summarize in different words. Okay, she may be fiery on the netball court. And now I know this about Robin because I've taken these notes. Competitive at sport. Yes, we all know that about Robin. Remember, I read that to you in class. She may be fiery on the netball court, but Robin is best known for being responsible. Now, this is a good linking sentence because it's about her personality. Okay, she's responsible, but I haven't used the exact same words. So I haven't said mature and trustworthy again. I've used synonyms. Okay, that's paragraph number 1. Now moving on, paragraph number 2. This is about how Robin is affected by war. Can I remind you that you can pause this video at any time? I know it's a long video, but it's here to help you. In this paragraph here, I need to start with a point sentence, a statement about how they're affected by war. I need to explain this with some evidence about the things they do and say, and then I need to write a linking sentence to summarize but using different words. Let's look at my paragraph. The war affects Robin in ways that surprises herself and her friends. That's my point. The once unheard young girl finds the strength to stand up and give her opinion, showing leadership. Robin took over. We've got to think, guys. Because Robin keeps her calm when everyone else is panicked, it's not too long before the group looks to her for advice. In one stressful time, Lee says, "Let's listen to Robin." Later in the book, when Lee is injured, Robin saves him by lifting him onto her back and carrying him to safety. Ellie writes, "I want people to know about stuff like this, how brave Robin was that night. I don't want medals for her, but I think she's a bloody hero." Robin then is the primary carer for Lee's wounds. Considering that she used to faint at the word injections, it's clear that the war brings out a new side to this character. And there's my link. So have I got a point sentence that makes a statement about how she's affected by war? The war affects Robin in ways that surprises herself and her friends. If we go back to my planning sheet, I've got that here. How is she affected by war? She shows some leadership, she does surprising things, she keeps calm. So I've used this as my main idea. Does some surprising things that no one really thought Robin could do. So yes, I've got my point sentence. Now the middle of the paragraph, all the way down to my link, this is where I need to explain it and give evidence. So then I talk about, okay, yeah, Robin was once quiet. I've used a synonym here. Instead of saying quiet again, because I've already used that up here, I've used the word unheard. The once unheard young girl finds strength to stand up and give her opinion, showing leadership. Now, I got that from my planning sheet. As I read the book, I wrote down notes like this. When Robin started showing leadership, I wrote down that note in my planning sheet, and it's helped me now in my draft. And then I've used some quotes to prove that. Robin took over. We've got to think, guys. Because Robin keeps her calm when everyone else is panicked, it's not too long before the group looks to her for advice. As we go through this paragraph, you'll see that I've got lots of different ideas, and I've used 1, 2, 3 quotes this time. So I am explaining how war has affected Robin, and I'm giving evidence from the text. This paragraph, a bit longer than the first paragraph, is 156 words. Moving on. Paragraph number 3, development over the novel. In this paragraph, I need to start with a point sentence to make a statement about their development through the book. I need to, in the middle, explain how they change or mature, or maybe they don't, with evidence about what they say and do. And then, like always, I need to write a linking sentence to summarize using synonyms or different words. Let's look at my paragraph. Throughout all of the horrific events in the novel, Robin remains devoted to her religion. Let's just take a moment to look back at my introduction. I needed to introduce all of these 3 things about her personality, how she is affected by war, and how she continues to develop. Now, I said that Robin develops over the book by keeping her faith in God, by staying true to her religion. That's important to Robin. And that's what I've got down here. So yes, have I made a point sentence about how she develops through the book? I have. Throughout the novel, Robin stays devoted to her religion. Now I need to explain that. While her character develops by becoming more likely to speak up and not cry at the sight of blood, Robin continues to regularly pray and read the Bible. This is possibly the reason why she is the only one in the group who expresses empathy and understanding for the enemy. In an argument with Kevin, she says, "There doesn't have to be a right side and a wrong side. Both sides can be right or both sides can be wrong. I think both countries are in the wrong this time." Ellie admires Robin's commitment. She prays quietly every night. I like Robin, and I like how strong she is in her beliefs. The strength Robin gains from her connection with God grows throughout the story. And there's my link sentence. My point is that she remains devoted to her religion, so my link has to say the same thing but in different words. The strength Robin gains from her connection to God, so I'm talking about religion, God, grows throughout the story. So I'm saying the same thing but in different words. That means at the middle of my paragraph, all of this is the explanation, the evidence. And you'll see this time I use 2 quotes. 1 and 2. But lots of ideas. Okay, so I said that she regularly prays, she reads the Bible, she expresses empathy and understanding for the enemy. I've got evidence there. And that Ellie even admires Robin. She notices how she prays quietly at night and how she is strong in her beliefs. So have I done all of this? Yes, I have. Finally, yes, we're almost at the end, the conclusion. Now, in the conclusion, I need to summarize all of the main ideas I've had about Robin and how Marsden has constructed Robin. And then finally, I need to give my opinion. Well, what did I think as the reader? Let's read. From the beginning of the book to the end, Marsden constructs Robin to be the group's moral compass. She, being the responsible one, is like the mother of the group, who keeps calm and is often seen as a leader. By including a serious character in the story, Tomorrow When the War Began is made to be more believable and overall is a truly engaging novel. Let's break that down. Did I summarize my main ideas about Robin? Okay, I've said that Robin is like the group's moral compass. And I've said this before when I said that she is mature and trustworthy, responsible, that she is the only one who is able to express empathy and understanding for the enemy, That means that she is moral, or that she's just, she's fair. She, being the responsible one, again about her personality, is like the mother of the group who keeps calm and is often seen as a leader. Yes, I definitely talk about that. I say that she shows leadership. So remember, in your conclusion, you need to summarize the things you've already talked about in your essay. And then finally, give your opinion. Now, I'm thinking that if all of the teenagers were just, you know, typical kind of teenagers, I don't think that the story would have had as much believability to it. I think that by including a character like Robin, who is, yes, quite different to the rest of the characters, makes the story more believable. And I think that's what makes it more engaging and a better book to read. If all of the characters were the same or were similar, it wouldn't be as interesting. And I know myself from the group from when I was at school, there's lots of different kinds of people at school, lots of different kinds of teenagers. There are teenagers like Homer who get in trouble at school. There are teenagers like Robin who are always doing the right thing. And so I think that by including this serious character, the book Tomorrow When the War Began is made more believable and is overall a truly engaging novel. And that's where I've used my evaluative language to give my opinion. I've used two. Can you find them? They're in this sentence. By including a serious character in the story, Tomorrow When the War Began is made to be more believable and is overall a truly engaging novel. I've used the word believable, that's my opinion, I'm evaluating it, and I've used the word engaging, again my opinion. Okay, this whole exemplar comes to 539 words. Now remember, if you go back and look at your task sheet, you needed to write between 400 and 600. And so I hope that in the exemplar, you're able to see that I'm pretty much smack bam in the middle of that word count, and yes, this would get an A. Why would this get an A? Because it's well structured. All of the body paragraphs are peel paragraphs. The intro and conclusion do what they need to, and it's used all of the language features. I've always been formal, professional. I've used lots of cohesive ties. Have a look at them. Early in the book, even so, because these are cohesive ties or linking words that make my writing flow and make it easy to read. I've used quotes. I haven't said the same word over and over and over again, so I've used synonyms. And finally, I've used evaluative language. That's why this exemplar is an A. Okay, I hope that this video was helpful for you, and I hope that you're doing well at home. Bye for now.